as was said, so my name is Dennis Foutz, and I am a franchisee. I own and independently own and operate my own travel agency through Cruise Planners, which is an American Express travel representative. So that's my home office franchise. With franchises are challenged in what they say is it's a business in a box, right? The why franchise. As a veteran coming from active duty, I knew what I was passionate about, but how do I get there? Even whether you're going through a med board process or you're with that strike group, nothing changes where you feel like you're at 40 hours a day trying to get through a process with only 24 hours in it. And then you're trying to balance home life, your educational life, formal education. What do I love? What am I inspired to do? So I tell you what, I thought I was pretty educated with it. I have an undergraduate degree in business finance, graduated cum laude, and then I got a master's degree in human relations, right? That's pretty nifty. What is that? It's a master's degree through the military, right? So through the University of Oklahoma, or even when I came to the time to retire, about a year out, they go, man, I tell you what, you've got so much going for you, you can do anything. And then about 2 months out, they go, whoa, it's really hard to get a job out there, right? So how did that change? So moving now into the franchises is that I said to myself, what is it I'm not good at? I wasn't really good at, I don't know how to do marketing, right? I worked for the most non-profitable, profitable organization ever in the military. And I'm a warfighter, plain and simple. I don't know how to do marketing. Business plans, everybody's telling me how to do it. A budget, personal life, business life, I didn't know. So that drew me to what franchises are. So I started doing some research. Depending on the franchise, they give you successful tools in a box. Marketing, material, education, and for some, friendly discounts for veterans. Well, what's the investment? Well, there is definitely a capital. You have to have some skin in the game. You have to have money to buy a business, buy any business, whether you can create one, buy one, or go into a franchise. And then I learned that with franchises, the overhead costs are significantly less than if you were to try to build a Life Fitness, or you want to create an outdoor clothing line, or a lodge. Imagine, because the franchise will choose potentially anti-competitiveness, right? So you may not be able to have a Meineke, right, within 2 miles of another Meineke, right, or a Starbucks, or these things, even a hair cuttery within so many distances of the other sports club. Spas the same way. So that's great. So you can get regions. The education is important because like I said, working that 40-hour day, how am I going to learn how to set up a business? And by the way, how do I get paid? Setting up contracts with cruise lines, tour operators. Who are they? How do I go see them? But when you buy into a franchise, this filter exists for you, and then they're provided to you. Now, what do they want from you on the other side? Well, you have to pay fees, royalty fees, and that goes into your own independent research. So for me, as an example for myself, I decided that I wanted a travel agency. So I started looking at different franchises. Now, of course, what you'll find, just like when you look at a McDonald's and a Burger King, when you go through the drive-thru, everything kind of looks the same. Hamburger, special sauce, lettuce, cheese, right? Everybody kind of wants 3% or this. You have to do this for so many years. The upfront costs are very similar. And then I started looking at what do they give back to the veterans. Now that is where you might see some peculiar differences. Some people will give, well look, if you apply, once a year we'll actually give a free franchise. We'll give one of our franchises to a veteran. Or we'll take off 20%. And the other company may be 10%. And now we're seeing some unique differences, at least from the cost-based perspective. So that's something that you might want to consider when you're looking at franchises equally across the board. You say you want to do something and then line it up separately. So why travel agencies? Because this is something that you are probably going to ask yourself. Because I'm really excited to hear about composting and stuff because it's very just an interesting subject. Like, why? What drove you to this? What drove me to the travel agent? What's driving you to the lodge or to the spa or the Urban Outfitters? So with the why, I saw travel agencies, they became extinct. There used to be so many travel agencies out there when I was a child that it was a lot like a Starbucks on every corner. I mean, they're literally everywhere, posters everywhere. And then what happened was the dawn of internet creation. It created a criteria. You have to have high quality to survive. That's what the internet did. So if you're a transactional business, when the internet was created, your travel agency became extinct. If you're not looking for a relationship with your client, you're gonna die. So if all you're looking for is people to come into your brick and mortar and take time out of work to buy an airplane ticket, you failed. And they did, because they weren't moving with the dynamics of the economy. A franchise helps move this along so you don't get caught in something that you're not even really sure that's happening to you right now, because you have a lot of money and a lot of big thinkers behind you setting this up. This year, for example, my travel agency, back in the home office as a franchise, has realized that the future is with artificial intelligence. So what they did was they moved me into the Alexa. I actually can run my business through an Alexa. That's how franchises, when you do your research, can move you in the right direction. How to connect to your demographic and your clients that are moving to the next thing. So when I go find them, we create a relationship, because that's what survives in my business as a traveling guru. So much that what you're looking for in all businesses, just so you know, in all business that you're going to go to, as an entrepreneur, you're looking for referral and repeat business. Otherwise, you also won't survive. Transactions will work, but you're always driving it. You'll never feel like you can take a vacation because you're always driving the transaction. So I would always advise people, whether you're selling bow and arrows or travel or insurance, whatever it may be, you look for the relationship. Now, what you become is a unicorn, right? A unicorn is something that nobody believes exists, but then when they find it, they don't want to let it go. I just brought onto the team a veteran. So now we are an additional travel agent into this business. She is a veteran. She currently works as a government employee. And soon she's moving with her husband, who's still a warfighter. But she's looking for a business that moves with her so she can be successful. And she kind of wants to break away from the government employee, paradigm. What's going to happen to me? Am I going to like my job? She wants something that moves around. So she has two options. She can either buy a franchise that may cost upwards of $20,000 plus insurance, plus setup fees and so forth. Or we can just bring her on board and she can see if she likes it. Does it meet her like? Does it meet her why? And so I'm really happy to report that she's on board our team now, and she's selling adventure travel, because that's kind of who she is. That's what she likes. Until you're ready to decide to strike out on your own. So when you're ready to have that lodge, because now you understand the marketing and the business models and the tax codes and the thises and the thatses and the things that who knows what it is. You won't know because you're not in it yet. But when you're in the franchise, you can put all these little footnotes off to the side. Hey, I shouldn't have done that. Thank goodness I have a support team back home to untwist this. That you can put that in your toolbox. And you can take a little bit of that money and you can put it off to the side. And you can build and build. And in this time, you're building referrals and clients and credibility. Then you can say, you know what? I'm going to open up my own travel agency. And I'm going to create my own franchise. Or I'm just going to create my own lodge. And it's just going to be me. And then I'm going to reach out to Dennis and say, hey, Dennis, how about I be your preferred travel guy, your travel destination in Colorado or Utah or wherever you may be. And then I just say, okay. Right? So that's how it can work.